guys. Today I'm going to be trying to put an intercooler in my S10. It has been a while that I've been running non-intercooled, and the point of this was to get by for like 2 or 3 weeks until I put an intercooler in, and it's been a year, so I think it's time to try and fit this eBay intercooler in here. This is a 31 by 12 by 4 intercooler off eBay. 3-inch inlets and outlets. It's got mounting points on the bottom and the top. I've done quite a bit of research on how to put an intercooler in here, and I don't think there's a certain correct way to do it. It's just, I think you pretty much have to wing it. But yeah, I'm gonna be getting rid of this. I don't have the intercooler piping yet. I gotta wait to finish it up till I get that, but I should have that soon here. I am hoping I can get everything behind the grill. If not, I might have to cut this mesh off, and if I do that, I will be painting the intercooler black so it doesn't show too much. But yeah, I really want to put a hood on here, so I kind of need an intercooler if I'm not getting that fresh air. The first step is to take the grill off, obviously, and probably one of the hardest. Hopefully I can do that without breaking the clips off. All right, well, I got the grill off, as you guys can see, and I'm hoping I can cut this like right here and have the intercooler sit right below that. And it's probably gonna sit down in here a little bit. So I'm gonna have to get rid of all these wires, get this thing off, get the power steering cooler off, and yeah, I really want to relocate these wires, redo the wires this winter, but as of right now I'm going to cut the zip ties off and probably tuck them down as far as I can, get them out of the way, and get the grinder and start cutting. I don't even know how the intercooler is supposed to fit right down in here, because let me grab my tape measure. If I put this back to the core support, right there is 4 inches, right where the bolt is, like right there. So looks like I'm gonna have to do some cutting. I don't know, I'll figure something out and I'll report back. All right guys, so I got the power steering cooler off, I got the hood latch off, headlights and everything off. I just laid the wires aside. These wires will go between the engine and the radiator down along the bottom. These will as well, because I won't have room for them up here unless I go under the bump, or unless I go under the frame rail. So I'm probably just going to run them on the inside. And I did cut this and this out, and I cut my radiator mounts bolts off. They were sticking out like 1 inch past the nuts. So I'm going to mock up the intercooler again. I had it up there for a little bit. All right, so there it is, all mocked up. It'll go down quite a bit. This right here should be underneath this, because I want to run my intercooler pipe inside the bumper and back in there, so it won't interfere with the daytime running lights or anything like that. It won't interfere with the grill mounts, even though this one is broken. If I get a new one, I don't really want to cut it unless I absolutely have to. But yeah, this should go down at least 5 inches more. And if you guys can see, I might have to cut some of this. I might have to cut part of the core support out, but I don't want to, because I don't want to reinforce it or anything. As you guys can see, right down here is the bolt for the bumper mount, and here. So I'm just gonna put a self-tapper in here so it'll stay on there, because this mount comes back all the way back here. I'm just going to put a self-tapper right in here. Then I can cut this down to where I want it, and cut this one down as well, and I can slide it down in there, see how it fits. And I think once I put it in for the final time, I'm going to put some kind of cushioning tape on here, so I can set this all the way back against the core support, and it won't make rattling noises. So yeah, I'm going to start cutting, and I'll update you guys after I get that cut. Well, I've been cutting for a while. As you guys can see, it's gotten quite a bit down there, but I think I have to take the bumper off to get the rest. I don't feel like taking the bumper off, but I probably have to. I had to run out and get self-tappers, but right in there they are holding that. I'm going to slip the intercooler in to see how it fits as of right now. One side went down, this side went down in there. This side, however, needs some more cutting. And yeah, I'm gonna cut some more on this side to see how far down I can get it. I took a little bit more off right here. I'm gonna have to take a little bit more off, but it's not hitting that anymore. Right in here, it is hitting the bumper mount. And it's hitting on this side too, so I'm gonna shave a little bit off the bumper mount, but I think I'm gonna have to take the bumper off to try that. So I'm gonna take a little bit more off here. Just to make sure everything fits. That way when I cut the bumper mounts down and I put the bumper back on. It's raining in here, so it's pretty loud, but I hope you guys can hear me. This side over here is cut down where I want it, I think, hopefully. And this side, I still have quite a bit cut out. Gotta cut this flush. And then up here yet. And I'm gonna try and fit this thing in here right now, see how it fits over there. Then yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, here's the deal. The mount is still hitting right here and right here. So I am gonna have to cut more off right here. And I'm just gonna keep cutting until it slides right on down. And hopefully there's still something left. Well guys, things did not go as planned. I had to basically had to cut this off the mount. Over here I have the whole mount here yet. And I had to cut quite a bit more off right here. So I decided I'd just build new mounts. So I left this here as kind of a mock-up and made this one. It's got a plate in the back. And I'm simply going to weld this right in here and cut it off like right here or somewhere at the right height. I have this here for mock-up yet. Then I'm probably going to weld a nut on the inside and the bumper will mount right up to that. And it's going to be quite a bit stronger than these mounts because I'm going to have to cut quite a bit off yet. So I decided I'd just make new mounts. And I don't even know if this holds the bumper a whole lot. I know the bumper bolts onto this as well and the sides. So I doubt that these mounts do too much, but we're still going to make some nice solid mounts for it. That should go right on there. And we'll just cut that to the right height and hopefully that'll work great. There's a piece of plate on here to space it out and away from the frame so the intercooler will fit down between the two mounts that I make. And yeah, I'll update you guys once I got this mount on. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so here's the finished product. The idea is that I'll weld a nut inside, then I'll just bolt the bumper down onto that. I might have to trim this a little bit yet. I'll have to put the bumper on and figure that out. But as of right now, I think it's almost perfect. Might be a little long. Anyways, this thing is a lot stronger than this one. And probably stronger than the factory one was. So yeah, this will mount up my bumper just fine. And it'll be pretty strong. And with this as well, I don't think the bumper's going anywhere. So I got to do the same on this side yet and throw some paint on these guys. And we'll put the intercooler back in there, see if it fits. Well guys, it's day 2 of putting an intercooler on my LS swapped S10. And as you guys can see, I got the intercooler mocked up. Bumper is on. The bumper brackets are on already. I'm going to pull the bumper off and I'll show you guys the mounts. And I got to pull the bumper off anyways to make the bottom mount of the intercooler. But this right here is where it's going to sit. I have it spaced up on the frame. And yeah, I'm going to pull the bumper off and I'll mount this thing up. As of now, I can mount the intercooler and then continue to work on my grill. I've been working on this here and there. I got this one is almost done. I think I'm gonna have to shave a little bit more off over here, probably right down to this line over here, but I'm hoping this grill fits because I really want to keep this grill. There is a grill that you can buy that will probably fit this 4-inch intercooler no problem, but I don't really like the look of it. I mean, it's okay, but I'd rather have the stock one. So I'm gonna keep trimming this thing and hopefully get it on here. And if I have to, I might even cut some of this out of the core support and move the intercooler back just a bit. But if I do that, I'll be getting into this part of the core support as well. And I really don't want to cut up my entire core support. So I'm gonna make this grill work if at all possible. All right, guys, well, I got the bumper off sitting over there. These are my 2 bumper mounts. They are all finished up. Actually, I gotta paint them yet, but I wanna do my intercooler mounts on the bottom first before I paint these. That way I can paint it all on one shot. I did have to trim the bumper a little bit to fit these because they stick pretty far forward right here in the bottom. Would have been better to come kind of like that, but I just had to trim a tab off right here, tabs like this. I just had to cut them off. As you guys can see, this one's gone, this one's gone. I got some 150-mile-an-hour zip ties on there, so it's not going anywhere. To be honest, it's probably stronger than these. This one's actually broken. These are not holding anything, so yeah, it'll be fine. All right, well, I just got back from Tractor Supply and I picked up some rubber washers to mount these to give it a little bit of play. And I picked up some of this stuff. It's vinyl foam, and right there is the description. And what I did is I put that stuff all over the front of this. That way my intercooler will sit up against that foam and not just be aluminum to metal. So yeah, I don't know how bad that would be, but it's pretty simple to just put this stuff on there, and it was $3.50. So check out this pile of garbage I got going on just from doing this project. Anyway, I got this painted up already, the mounts, and I built mounts for my intercooler. I just made an L bracket, welded it to the bumper mount, and kind of made slots in there for the bolts to go through. I just put a coat of paint on this, so it's still wet. Anyway, the idea of the slots is that way if anything flexes, it has some room to move. And yeah, I think this will work great. And I'm gonna let this dry, then I'm gonna start doing the top mount because I wanna hook this up to the hood latch. That way I can still use the hood latch. I have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. Well, I got the top intercooler mount finished up. I just took this piece of steel that I had laying around, bent it in 2 areas, welded some tabs on it, and I cut some holes through these sides and ground this thing down on the bottom side, put it in there, welded everything on. I had to weld the nuts off that go on these bolts, so I welded this thing on as well. And yeah, this stuff is not going anywhere. It's not moving at all. I don't have any rubber washers up here, but I do have rubber insulating washers on the bottom, on the top, on each side. That way there's a little room to wiggle. That way I don't break my tabs off. And I think this should be strong enough to hold the hood. It doesn't really move at all. So hopefully that'll hold the hood on. Well, guys, I got the bumper on, but I do not have intercooler piping yet, so I'm not going to put that in this video. This video is getting kind of long anyways. So intercooler piping is pretty simple, you know. Basically what I'm going to do with the intercooler piping is I'm just going to run it right up here. Just probably go above the core support, or through the core support, not under the core support, because I'd have to cut the bumper bracket and remake that. So I'm just going to put like 90 on here, and I'm probably going to angle it up a little bit. I'm going to have to trim this out down to the bottom right here, then just make a hole right in here and go up. And once I'm inside, I can just angle it over here, connect it to this. Simple as that. This side, I'm just going to come over here as well and probably go past this and then right up in there. Anyway, I'm going to throw the headlights and the grill on. Alright, well, I got everything back together. I obviously still need to put the intercooler piping in, but not today. I do have to say, it looks pretty good. I really do have to paint my bumper, but that's also for another day. My intercooler, I was thinking about maybe painting the other side of the intercooler matte black, and then I can swap them around, see which color I like best. Just the raw aluminum or matte black. I think either one of them would go great with the lights that I have on here. And yeah, as of now, I'm leaving it like this. Obviously, there's other ways you could do an intercooler on here, and there's probably better ways, but I'm pretty happy with this. I'm just gonna roll with it. I know I could have pushed the radiator back. I could have probably pushed it back another inch or two if I would have really wanted to, but I could have pushed it back an inch and put the intercooler back into the core support, but I would have had to cut up a whole lot of core support just to run the tubing, like the intercooler piping, and I would have had a whole lot of cutting to do and a whole lot more work to do. And I know some people just build like a tubular or like a square tubing core support, but I really like to keep kind of the OE look on here, so this seemed easier, and this was just my preference, so this is the way I did it. And yeah, I really hope this helps some of you guys out, and I want to thank you guys for watching this video. And if you liked it, like and subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.